Terence Crawford. Best boxer on the planet right now, and the reason your fight IQ is about to skyrocket. And what if I told you that this largely comes down to one single training method? And this thing I'm about to show you doesn't just apply to boxing. No, it applies to really any striking sport. That includes Muay Thai, kickboxing, MMA, all of it. But the weird thing about this secret training method is that you're probably already doing it, except you're doing it wrong. If that's a bit confusing, let me slow it down for you. I'm willing to bet that you do some kind of pad work at your gym. Different gyms usually prioritize it a bit differently, but almost every gym across the planet does some form of pad work or bag work. Now, these two are pretty great. They're used for a reason, but they each have a pretty huge problem. Starting with bag work. With a bag, the obvious great thing is that you're free to throw whatever you want. You can be creative, you can be a lot more calculated, and you can be very technical. But the bag is not a real person. It doesn't move, it doesn't give you tips, it doesn't feel you. And that's the great thing about a pad holder. A pad holder can move around, can hit back. It has the human aspect to it. But the issue with pad work is that you lack a lot of creativity. Unless you have a really experienced pad holder, you often end up just doing whatever the pad holder holds for you. We've all been there, throwing jab, cross, rear kick for 15 minutes straight, and ending up realizing that, oh, this was actually just a conditioning workout. But Terence has a secret little adjustment that makes these two 10 times better. Essentially, what Terence does is he combines the advantages of pad and bag work and removes the major problems, essentially creating a perfect mix. The work is very slow, very calculated. Now, I know what you're thinking. Slow pad work is not some revolutionary idea. It's done everywhere. But that's where you're wrong. A lot of gyms do slower paced pad work where you don't try to burn yourself out every round. But still, you'll notice the same problem is still there. You end up just throwing out random technique. There's no thinking behind it. You get a lot better doing this style of pad work than if you do fast-paced pad work, but still, you don't get that advantage that Terence does. Because the slow style pad work allows Terence to think through what he's gonna do next. Whether that be to reposition, counter, defend, whatever. With this slower pad work, you're able to actually find your best shots. You're able to actually work with your fight IQ, which leads to a way more calculated approach when he fights. Essentially, you learn to find the next best move from a real position. It's why he's able to be such a creative striker when he fights. He's been in every position possible, and he's got at least 5 moves from every position that he knows will land and will have an effect. And that comes from that slow pad work of learning to find the next best shot. Whether in boxing, Muay Thai, or MMA, fighters at the amateur or low level pro scene rarely have good IQ. And this drill builds exactly that. Put simply, it is the biggest untapped advantage in combat sports, and you now have it right in front of you. Now, the biggest concern I hear from people when I give them this drill is, what about my cardio? And it's a valid concern. A lot of people use pad work to build cardio. It's one of the most important ways to develop your cardio. Except it's not. Pad and bag work should not be used to build conditioning. We're not stuck in 2005 anymore. Pads are a way to channel our conditioning, but it's not where we build it. You wouldn't hit pads to develop your power, so why would you hit pads to build your cardio? For that, you gotta do more specific conditioning exercises. Now, I'm not gonna waste your time talking about cardio. We've got an entire video about that. But if you want to develop cardio like an actual elite fighter such as Terence, I'd highly recommend checking out the conditioning split linked down below, or the S&C Bundle, where you get the conditioning split and the power punching program to fully complete your strength and conditioning. Check it out if you want to level up your game and support the channel. Back to the video. The biggest advantage you can develop as an amateur or lower level pro in any combat sport is not perfect technique, not superhuman cardio, but fight IQ. And that's why this style of pad work is such a game changer. This is one of the biggest untapped separators in combat sports, so get ahead of the curve and start hitting pads like Terence Crawford.